Hi everyone, Jesse Noller with Killing Joke Mushrooms on the web at killingjokemushrooms.com. Wanted to come back, give you another video, and this time I actually wanted to cover the basic care and feeding of some of these mushroom grow kits. And it's crazy simple, but I've gotten a lot of questions, and there are a lot of options and things that you can do given certain conditions. So I just wanted to quickly kind of go over, stem to stern, what are we looking at? All right, so the mushroom grow jars. These are perhaps they're all pretty simple. All right, I'm not gonna say simplest, but these mushroom grow jars, all you do is when you get them in the mail, you take them out of the box, screw off the lid, put it into a place that has diffused light, sunlight. So you're thinking like an orchid, indirect sunlight. And ideally coming from the top, and I'll get into that in a second. Same goes for this jar. Now, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to make sure that these stay moist. And you're going to do that by, if it looks like it's getting dry, and you'll be able to tell visually, you can mist it with distilled or boiled water. Now, after you do that, in about a week or less, you should start seeing mushrooms growing up and out of these jars. Now, one quick note, or a couple of quick notes. A few things that I said there. Number one, why distilled or boiled water? You just don't want to introduce anything. So mushrooms, they don't have stomachs, they don't have digestive systems, they don't use photosynthesis. What they do is they actually absorb the particles from water. And so when you're spraying this and you're gently misting, not spray, you just want to make sure that the water's clean, that there's nothing added to it. You can use, filtered spring water, but generally I use boiled water, so that way I know that there's nothing in there that would potentially compete with the fungi. Now, these mushroom grow jars are clear. This leads to something called side pinning. A side pin is when you see a tiny baby mushroom growing on the side of this jar and it doesn't reach the top. Now, this happens for a couple of reasons. The biggest reason is light. And the reason why it's happening is because these are clear. The light is penetrating up and down the full length of the mycelium in here. So the mushroom thing, or the fungus thinks that it can just, fruit wherever it wants, and it will pop up mushrooms and pins. Now, there are a couple of options, right? And I'm looking at modifying my products, maybe adding parchment paper or something else like that, basically opaque wraps, so customers don't have to worry about this. But if you're at home, behold, the world's oldest roll of Reynolds wrap. This is real simple. What we're going to do is we're going to hack these jars, and we're going to force the light to come up only through the top. Done. So, let's recap. Well, why did I just do that? Well, I got this mushroom grow jar in the mail. I've taken off the lid. I've misted it once with this boiled or distilled water, and it's now sitting in diffuse light. But because the fungus will detect which way the light is coming from to determine which way to grow the mushroom, what we've just done is we've just wrapped it in foil to make sure that the light comes in from this direction and this direction only. Super easy. Now, let's cover the grow blocks. So, This is a 6 to 7 pound grow ball, tabletop grow farm, mushroom farm. There we go. Anyways, this mushroom farm will come in the mail. You can open up the box using a not a sharp knife. Don't use a box knife, bro. It's a bad idea. Anyways, you can cut open the top, open it up, and leave it in the box. And here's why I say that. Unless you've got an area where you've just got light just penetrating just straight up and down like this, you're going to get diffuse light, which will lead to side pins and other things like that. Leaving it in the box like this means that it'll just sit there and the light will come, but it will primarily create its mushrooms or its pins up on the upper surface. So, this doesn't have a lid though. What do you do when you get one of these beasts in the mail? Well, what you do is you find a clean pair of scissors, or a knife, or a pen knife, something, right? You get this home, you wipe it off, just with a clean cloth or something, you just make sure it's clean. And you can leave the box up like this, or you can put it down. You can bedazzle it. I recommend stickers. You'll get some. Anyways, then you take these scissors and you go clip, clip, and you make an X, just like this, in the surface of the bag. So let me show you again. Click, click. So clip, clip, and I've made an X. Stop. The reason why you can stop is that for most oyster mushroom species, they'll just actually grow through that pinhole, and you'll get these beautiful clusters that just come up out of the grow bag. For things like king oysters or other species, you may have to cut off the top of the bag, but you can still leave it in the box to guide where the light goes. Anyways, for these, you don't have to mist nearly as frequently until you start seeing the mushrooms come up out of the bag. Now, when the mushrooms start coming up out of the bag, you want to make sure it's in a humid location. So if you've got a room that's got a humidifier running, good, that's probably just fine. Because these bags, they'll pin, and you'll see the mushrooms coming up out of the hole that you've made, or through you cutting off the top of the bag. And they will come up, and they'll want to have moisture, otherwise they'll dry out. And so when you see the mushrooms come out, once again, just like with the jars, you'll use the distilled or boiled water and mist once a day at max to make sure that they stay moist. Anyways, hope that helps. And that was another quick explainer on taking care of these grow kits. Once again, I'm Jesse Nolan, KillingJokeMushrooms.com. Have a nice day.